Good day and welcome to another edition of Citizens Movement Radio News. Today is Friday, the 13th of June 2025. I'm Bernard Chele, ready to bring you the latest news and updates. Here are today's headlines on Citizens Movement Radio News. Mnangagwa's Patriotic Act violates rights, declares High Court. Court warns beneficiaries of Chivayo gifts. Konese confident of winning Gutu East by election. Now let's delve into the detailed stories. The High Court of Zimbabwe yesterday declared a key provision of the controversial Patriotic Act as unconstitutional. The High Court struck down Section 22A, Part 3 of the Criminal Law Codification and Reform Amendment Act No. 10 of 2023, declaring it vague, overly broad, and in violation of fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution. Opposition official Stephen Sagoz Chuma said the Patriotic Act is draconian and was drafted as a tool to persecute critics of government. Chuma said,
Yes, we welcome the High Court ruling yesterday, which struck down a section of the Criminal Law Codification and Reform Amendment Act No. 10 of 2023, which is notoriously referred to as the Patriotic Act. We have said it before that the Patriotic Act is draconian and was drafted as a tool to persecute critics of the government. We know that patriotism entails that people must tell the real truth about the country. People must speak against corruption. But this so-called Patriotic Act, it actually stifles free speech. It actually stifles freedom of expression, and it actually muzzles the voices that speaks against corruption. So we welcome the ruling by the High Court of Zimbabwe, and hopefully this whole act is going to be set aside, because it is not good for the people of Zimbabwe. It is not good for progress. It is not good for human rights defenders. It is not good for those who fight against corruption and abuse of power by Emmerson Mnangagwa and his government.
Bulawayo Mayor Councillor David Kota, a lawyer by profession, has warned that individuals receiving gifts from persons who are suspects of corruption risk prosecution in future. Posting on his social platforms, Kota said it is a crime under Money Laundering and Proceeds of Crime Act to receive gifts of corruption. His comments comes at a time when high-profile people, including church leaders and musicians, are receiving cars and money from Wycliffe Chivayo, who is accused of corruption. Independent candidate Gift Konese said he is confident of winning the Gutu East by-election, which is set for tomorrow. Gonese, who was Triple C MP candidate in 2023 general elections, said he expects nothing short of victory. He, however, expressed concern over harassment of his campaign team members by ZANU-PF. Let's hear Gonese speaking.
Right, as Gutu East citizens, we are ready. We have done everything that needs to be done for one to win an election. We've gone in all corners. We are, in fact, in every household as a strategy that we implemented, and we are happy. We're going to win this by-election. We're expecting nothing else than a resounding victory, because as citizens, we have resolved to embrace the change that is in the horizon. Thank you so much.
The Citizens President Advocate Nelson Chamisa has announced he will be launching his book soon. Posting on his social media platforms, President Chamisa posted the picture cover of the book called Citizenocracy, Leadership by and for the Citizens. He, however, did not state when the book will be launched or more details of the contents. We spoke to Langton Mwanaka and Tony Shava, who are avid supporters of President Chamisa, to tell us what they think will be in the book.
I am Langton Mwanaka, an ex-political prisoner and an enthusiast of the People's President, Advocate Nelson Chamisa. I'm happy to hear that our president announced on his social media platforms that he will be launching his book called Citizenocracy. I expect to find a lot in the book as it is citizen-centered. It is going to be a groundbreaking citizen-centered book. This innovative resource is poised to empower citizens with knowledge, spark meaningful conversations, and inspire positive change in our communities. The launch is going to mark a significant milestone, and I'm excited to see the impact it will have on civic engagement and social progress. I'm also expecting the book to cover on citizen-centered service delivery. Citizens budgeting, thus information on the concept of citizens' budgets, which involves making public budgeting more transparent and citizen-centered, allowing citizens to have a greater say in how public funds are spent. Empowering citizens, that is, strategies for empowering citizens to take an active role in governance. I also expect the book to cover on case studies and examples, real-world examples and case studies of successful citizen-centered initiatives, highlighting best practices and lessons learned. The book should also cover on fundamental human rights. Thank you so much.
Hello citizens, hello Zimbabwe, Tony Shava here. Well, concerning President Chamisa's announcement that he's going to launch a book very soon, which is going to be called Citizenocracy. I think this book, it explains itself. We can see that it's written Citizenocracy, and then added to it is leadership by and for the citizens. It's self-explanatory. I believe that President Chamisa here, he talks about the kind of leadership that comes through the thoughts of the people, of the citizens, what they think and what they want. It is driven by the will of the people. It's not just a leadership whereby we see dictatorial tendencies. People are forced to do things that they don't want to do. People are forced to be in a situation that they don't want to be in. The top people, the top class people, those who are the ruling elites, they do what they want and they run the country willy-nilly the way that they want. It's different. This is something that comes from the people. We're talking about a leader who's wanted by the people. We're talking about policies that are vouched for by the people. We are talking about the kind of leadership whereby even the local government is chosen by the local people, the local citizens. If it's in March Central, the people of March Central must speak and choose whom they want to have as their leader in March Central. And all the government officials that are there, they must be the ones that are vouched for by the people, not leadership that is imposed like we see today, that this person has been imposed on this particular portfolio, that person has been imposed by in this particular portfolio, and nepotism is very rife in Zimbabwe. Someone is chosen to have a position of leadership simply because he's the nephew of somebody in power. You see, he's a relative of somebody in power or he's a friend. But when we talk about citizenocracy, we are talking about a kind of leadership that puts the people first. So I believe that President Chamisa, this is what he's going to be talking about, and you take examples from the situation in Zimbabwe since 1980, what has been happening, how elections have been rigged, how the will of the people has been trampled on. So I believe this is exactly what he is going to talk about. We wait enthusiastically and patiently to read that book and hear what our president, the president of the people, President Nelson Chamisa, has to say. Thank you.
Youths have been urged to exercise their constitutional right to demonstrate against Emerson Mnangagwa's government's failure to address unemployment crisis in the country. This was said by Masvingo opposition youth leader Calvin Tinaro, who said youths must demand answers from Mnangagwa over his 2 million jobs 2018 electoral promise. Tinaro said due to high rate of unemployment, idle youths are now turning to drugs and substance abuse. Outspoken war veteran Comrade Blessed Geza has warned ZANU-PF dictator Emerson Mnangagwa that his time as president is coming to an end. Posting on his X account yesterday, Comrade Geza dismissed a fake message suggesting that he is realigning with Mnangagwa. Comrade Geza restated his message that some security forces are working on a plan to remove Mnangagwa from power. The daughter of former Minister of Health Obadiah Moyo, Shashiu, has donated blankets to Chitungwiza General Hospital. Opposition official Jefferson Chitando said, whilst the gesture is good, it is Shashiu's father that partly created the mess in hospitals. Chitando said, Shashiu must tell his father Obadiah Moyo to return US $60 million COVID-19 funds he stole in 2020 so that the money helps in hospitals. Let's hear Chitando speaking.
Former Minister Obadiah Moyo's daughter's gesture of donating blankets to the General Hospital is really appreciated. This is during the cold winter period. We know that our patients who have been neglected by this government, they need good warm bedding. So we appreciate the love which Sasha has done, but she should also remember that Zimbabweans still have got pain because of her father's misappropriate of or mismanagement or looting of the COVID $60 million, which resulted in his expulsion from government. It is important that as a Zimbabwean, as a citizen, as a patriot, Sasha should tell his father to return the money, the COVID money, which was meant for patients, which could have done a lot to our hospitals. So we as Zimbabweans would be very happy if the daughter approached the father and tell him to act positively for the hospitals, for the citizens, for Zimbabwe. 60 million would have done a lot to all our hospitals in this country, to the point that she would not have even bothered to donate those blankets, but would have looked to donate other things.
Israel has plunged the Middle East on the verge of war after its deadly military strike killed at least 3 of Iran's military commanders, including General Hossein Salami of the Revolutionary Guard. Meanwhile, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said Israel will face severe punishment as it prepares for a response. Let's get the latest update on this developing story.
In the small hours, Tehran lit up by explosion. Israel launching a huge attack on Iran's military and nuclear sites, codenamed Rising Lion. There were more than 100 targets, some of them people, the most senior leaders of the Revolutionary Guard, and also nuclear scientists. Iran claims civilians, including children, have been killed. Israel insists this was a preemptive strike because it faced an imminent threat. Iran's air defences had already been damaged by previous Israeli attacks. But this was also a solo operation. No other nation was involved, not even America. The Iranians, furious. They deny preparing nuclear weapons. The supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, issued this statement. To the great Iranian nation, this morning at dawn, the Zionist regime unleashed its vile and blood-stained hand in our beloved country, revealing its wicked nature even more by striking residential areas. The regime must await severe punishment. His initial reaction, a wave of drones launched towards Israel. That looks like a muted response, so there may be more to come. In a statement on social media, President Trump said Iran needed to strike an agreement urgently. He said, there has already been great death and destruction, but there is still time to make this slaughter, with the next already planned attacks being even more brutal, come to an end. Iran must make a deal before there is nothing left. This is an unprecedented strike. Israel believes Iran is a dangerous rogue state controlled by a weak regime, but the aftershocks of this attack could be enormous. Iran's tentacles spread far, a volatile, battle-scarred region and a wider world, all wondering what happens next. Adam Parsons.
In our sports news, the Kasolaga Premiership returns this weekend following the international break with full round of fixtures. Here are fixtures for matches to be played over the weekend. FC Platinum vs Kariba, Greenfield vs Tewan, Yada vs Rentals, Capes United vs Chicken Inn, Ngezi Platinum vs Manica Diamonds, Bikita Minerals vs Dynamos, Triangle vs Moors, Highlanders vs Simba Bora, and Scotland vs Kwekwe United. English Premier League side Tottenham Hotspurs have appointed Thomas Frank as their new head coach. The ex-Brentford coach replaces Ange Postecoglou, who guided Tottenham to Europa League glory but finished 17th in the league. To conclude our Citizens Movement Radio News, here are the headlines once more. Mnangagwa's Patriotic Acts violates rights, declares High Court. Coltart warns beneficiaries of Chivayo gifts. Konese confident of winning Gutu East by-election. The news on CMRA English was brought to you by Bernard Stelemi and the news team. Wishes you all a blessed weekend. Good night.